Hello everybody and welcome back once again to Let's Play Crusader Kings 2, the Rogue Viking series. Our good old Rogue Viking friend, Earl Johan of Leeds. Right then, so today's session. Got a few things to discuss and go through and sort out whilst the time is paused, and then we'll crack cracking, so bear with me. But before we do anything, I thought I'd give you a history lesson. You see, when I'm playing these types of games, Total War games, these CK2, these historical games, when I play a particular time period that I'm interested in, I like to do a little bit of research about that period of time. And everything that I've learned about history since leaving school has been learned from research following playing computer games. Used to hate history at school. I love it now because I can do it on my own terms. And seeing as we're playing in a period of time in this game that I've never played before, and I'm actually playing in a period of time that I've never really come across before, prior to 1066 really, I thought it'd be interesting to take a quick look at this man here, King Aethelstan. He's in charge now, so who is he? Who was he? What did he do? So, pin your logos back, I'm just going to give you a quick synopsis of King Aethelstan, just in case you don't have this time period, so you can't click the Wikipedia link, or if you just can't be bothered. I'll give it to you in the short version. So, King Aethelstan was credited as being the first English king. I mean, that is quite something. The first English king, folks, is right here before your very eyes. He was King of England. Well, he was King of the Saxons first, from 924 to 927, but then became King of England from 927 to 939 upon his death. And it was credited as being one of the greatest Anglo-Saxon kings. He never married and never had any children. Now, in 927, remember I said that this area was kind of Viking, and they were ousted at some point? They were ousted at some point by King Aethelstan. 927, he ousted the Vikings from Jorvik, making him the first king of the entirety of England as well. And that's when he obviously became King of England. And further to that, in 934, he invaded Scotland, which was under the rule of King Constantine II. Not sure if this is the same man, because the history of this says Constantine II was a little bit too early. So I'm wondering if this is actually Constantine that they're talking about here, because he was ruling from 900, you see. So I'm thinking it's this guy. So this guy and one of the kings of the Dublin, King of Dublin, a Norse King of Dublin, because the Vikings weren't happy with him and the Scottish weren't happy because he defeated Constantine and got him to submit. They teamed up together to do battle with Aethelstan at the Battle of Brunanburh, and Aethelstan was victorious, earning him much prestige in his own lands and across the continent. And then he went on to do some more boring stately things like centralising the government and all kinds of other things like that. But yeah, that's a little bit of the more exciting side of his reign. And when he died in 939, while the cat's away, the mice will play, the Vikings retook Jorvik. And then it was a little bit of sort of toing and froing between the Anglo-Saxons and the Vikings until 954, when it finally came under English rule for good. So there you go. Hope you don't mind a little bit of history there, but that's this man right here. And I thought, we can't do a disservice. I wanted to find out about him, and now that I have, I'm kind of like, oh, he was quite an important king in English history then, and I've never heard of him before today. And out of interest, if you want to see this man, you can head to the chapel. Oh, the chapel. It's rather larger than a chapel. It's the what's it called? Cathedral. The Cathedral of Beverley in East Yorkshire, because there is a tapestry there of King Aethelstan in that particular cathedral. So There's another little tidbit of information for you. Right, so there you go. History lesson over. And there will be no further history lessons, I don't think, unless something else catches my eye. But I thought at least the main man himself, King of England, we should find out a bit about him. Right, okay, so there's a couple of things that I want to do before we start the time rolling. A couple of things I want to set up. So bear with me. And then there's some things I can discuss whilst the time is ticking over. Okay, so... if you remember in the last session, Uhtred was invited to court and invited to become the next Bishop of Sherborne when we finally oust Copsage, and then soon to be court chaplain as well. But in the meantime, to keep him sweet and to make sure that he doesn't sort of wander off elsewhere, we're giving him at least something religious to do. So we have made him the High Almoner, handing out arms during religious observation, you see. That'll just kind of get him into the swing of things. But it's the best we can offer right now until we can revoke Copsage's title. So that's one little thing that I had to sort out. Another little thing which was mentioned by somebody in the Discord server, and is very true. Of course, we are good friends with Senthus of Hull. We get on like a house on fire, and this man is not married. We've recently got married, and he deserves a wife. He needs a wife so that he can, you know, create babies and stuff and continue the family line. Of course he should. So we're going to arrange a marriage for him, and I have already picked the candidate because I didn't want to do it on camera and waste time. So here she is, Aethelthryth, courtier in Essex, 16 years young, you know, nice looking blonde lady, and you know, she's got, look at that, 4 virtues: patient, temperate, diligent, and humble. I mean, it's like a little bit of a schemer, but look at that. That's just perfect. A wholesome, well-mannered woman. Perfect for him. So, as his liege lord and a friend, it is our duty and our privilege and our pleasure to find this man a rather beautiful, fitting wife. So they're going to get married. There you go, you see. So that's that little situation sorted. And one last situation, which is quite important really, is that we need to get our son betrothed to somebody. There's no immediate rush, but when we're going through looking at the various dukes, we'll keep an eye out for a potential candidate, because we have to marry him to an appropriate person, of course. So their parents need to be of a certain disposition. Right, so that's that. So we can start the time rolling kind of semi-slowly, and I'll go through some other things as time is ticking away. First of all, Northumberland. In the last session I said I will go through these messages off camera. When I did, the king has put a duke in place now. Before it was just Earl Oswulf of Bernicia and his cynical wife, but now he has an overlord, Duke Sabert of Northumberland, who has 2 kids, a wife. He's cruel, honest, shy and ambitious. An ambitious neighbour could be an issue, but other than that there's nothing really for us to be overly concerned with when it comes to the religious side of things. So yeah, new duke to the north, so we'll follow him and we'll kind of unfollow him because he's now not the main man anymore. And I noticed that he has 2 daughters. Do we wish... I mean, I don't know if he would. Arrange betrothal? Let's have a quick look here how this works. Arrange betrothal. Maybe she's already betrothed. No, she can't be already betrothed. Why can't I arrange a betrothal? With this. Arrange betrothal. Strange. Interesting. Okay, fine. I'll sort that out another time. But yeah, that is Duke Sabre of Northumberland, newly appointed Duke. Okay, so to Honourable Earl Johann. Aha! Of course you accept. Who are you anyway? Oh, it's the Earl of Essex. Of course you bloody accept. And she's come already, you see. Look at that. That's quick work. So, Senfus, enjoy married life, my friend. Right, okay, so there's a few more things to go over whilst time is ticking away nice and steadily. After the end of this year, we're going to have a feast to mark our first year in charge. And then we're going to take a look. Oh! Stop. I'll do it whilst it stopped. Bishop successors. Bishop successors. We've got one. We need another. None of our courts are suitable. So we're going to arrange to find another. Now we can't... I was looking at maybe somebody zealous. Would be quite handy. There we go. So somebody zealous, maybe. And then I found this fella. Now, he's zealous, he's diligent, he's temperate, he's cruel and an elusive shadow. But look at that. I mean, he cannot be our court chaplain because this chap's going to be our court chaplain. So he has to fit another role in the council. We have a role going spare in the council. This man, we're not overly happy with him. He's a mystic. He's not landed. He's our commander, but that's not really of great importance. So he can be replaced. And can be replaced by this man right here. He's very, very suitable to be a bishop and very suitable to be our spy master. Because even bishops need to be able to keep an eye on things. Spying has its place, even for a godly man, if doing it for the right reasons, of course. So we're going to invite this man to court and have him replace our spy master, and we're going to kind of be really harsh to this guy. I wasn't happy with him being a mystic. So he's going to find himself unceremoniously punted right out of court. We'll have to find ourselves another commander. But it's easier to find commanders than it is to find spy masters. Welcome forth, Aidsage 36. He likes us, which is good. We're both zealous. He likes the fact that we're strong. Perfect candidate. Perfect candidate. So now that he's here, we shall appoint him as a successor. There you go. Just in case the slow bishop was to pass away, Reagan-Weald, of course. And then we're going to assign him to be our spy master. Look at that. That's another zealous man on the council. Look at the council now. 2 zealous people. Soon to be 3 when we replace him with the other bishop. We'll have 3 zealots on the council. It's all taking shape nicely. Right then, so we'll have him technology studying all the way down here again. Now he's much better at this particular role, so that's nice. So Daisy went a bit too far there. Okie dokie, so that's that situation sorted, but we're not quite yet done because this man will now be irked with us because we've punted him out of his position. Ah dear. And we're going to relieve you of your commander status as well. And then we're going to ask you to leave court because you're a mystic and we just can't face having you here. So goodbye, enjoy. Did he go? Yes, he went. Lovely. Love it when a plan comes together, folks. So now we have a slightly better looking council. We just need the slow man to go and then we're happy as Larry. I'm not wishing ill on him, of course. I'm a good Catholic. Me as a player, I'm wishing him dead, but I'm sure that Johann is not. Okay, this is quite a moment. This is quite a pivotal moment. The king has created the Duchy of York. Hang fire, folks, hold on to your hats. Hold on to your hats, folks. He has 2 duchy titles, so he can actually keep this if he wants. Is he going to keep it or give it away? I'm going to pause the game for a second. Oh, the excitement's killing me. The excitement is killing me! Right, before we crack on then and see what the king does with the Duchy of York, just a couple of things. So we're having a feast. Bishop successor, history, current society. Yes, society! Of course, society. We're going to join a society. So the Benedictine order is quite quiet contemplation, scholarly work. We are a scholar. We have done a lot of reading of books, but that just seems a little bit too passive. We are now a feudal lord with an eye on bigger things, and therefore this order seems a lot more up and at 'em, hunting and seeking out heretics, a seeker of truth, inquisitions. That sounds much more up our street. So we're going to join the Dominican order. God's blessing upon thee, Earl Johann. We're delighted by your decision to join our ranks as a lay member. Together we shall strive for the betterment of ourselves and our fellow Catholics by following the rule of St. Augustine. Go with God. I will go with God. You mark my words, Conversus. It is indeed... Oh, it costs us money. It's rather sad, but never mind. Right, okay, so devotion level. You have 0 devotion. This is a currency which you can spend on various powers unlocked by being a member of the Dominican Order. You gain devotion by completing missions as well as on a monthly basis. So we get quite a nice little boost because of our learning, our zealousness, our scholarly ways, and our being a theologian, so that's quite nice. So this is Donatus, Wisdom of St. Dominic. Your wards have a chance to gain increased attribute points during their education, and upon reaching adulthood have a chance to lose wicked traits and gain pious ones. So in terms of making sure that our offspring continue to be religious types, this is quite handy. Right. Still not completely up to speed with these yet. I haven't had a chance to read upon them, but we'll kind of go with it. We'll roll with it. We'll see what happens. Right, okay. Oh dear. So, oh. No. Right, I think we're done. I've gone through everything that I needed to go through for today's session, so we're just going to go with the flow for the rest of the year and see what happens. But yeah, what's going to happen with this Duchy of York, people? Probably absolutely nothing. He's probably going to keep it for himself. But we wait with bated breath. Come on, Ethelstan. I took time to research your history. I am a commander. Oh, somebody's been imprisoned. Are you a heathen? Oh, he's got abdominal pain. Oh, and he's released him from his prison. Okay. For a long while now, you have not felt the presence of the Lord in your thoughts. You are starting to wonder whether there really is any truth in the... No way! What the hell was that noise? No way! Don't be foolish. Yeah, we're not going to give in to these blasphemous feelings. These feelings will soon pass. How flippin' stupid of them! What? Earlier... Oh! I did not notice. I did not notice this. Look at this! What is going on with his flippin' hairstyle? He's lost his beard! No. Where's the barbershop? Where is the barbershop? Come on, that's not... You're telling me we are stuck looking like this? No chance. No flipping way. He came back. He came back from the society. He'd been inducted, ordered to have this ludicrous hairstyle, his beard shaved off. He went back to his castle and he got stopped at the gates and turned away. What the hell? Who are you? Get away! I am Earl Johann. You are not. Look at this. You are nothing like Earl Johann. You look ridiculous. Unfortunately for the poor gate guard, he got a horrible shock because it was Earl Johann, looking completely different. What the hell? Right, what's this? Who is this? Oh no! There's a Duke of York and it's not us! Right, okay, it's a child Duke. It is a child Duke. Duke Adred. Probably a family member of the king. We'll check that out in a second. But he wants us to be the Chancellor on the council. Not the ideal position. We would prefer to be the court chaplain. But Chancellor is better than nothing, right? So we have the Chancellor of York. Let's take a look at this guy. Or this child. 14. Duke Adred of Wessex. I think it's a family member. It is. Let's find out. Is it a brother? It's a brother. It's the king's younger, very much younger brother. Bloody hell, 30 years younger. Jeez. You were a busy guy. Sorry. Okay. Makes sense, I suppose, to give it to your brother, but it's rather unfortunate for us. For the time being, we'll live with it, and let's have a look at him. Let's eye him up as we... Oh, we can't. He's not got his full traits yet, but we'll see. We'll see what kind of a ruler he's going to be. In terms of York, at least, and then we shall cast our judgments. But we can't risk doing anything against him now because he's the king's brother. It's not as if we can overthrow him willy-nilly now, is it? Dear me, that's put a slight spanner in the works of things, but never mind. Let's carry on. See what develops. There is a little bit of issues up here. So, they're at war, defending against King Olaf of the Isles and the island of conquest of Clydesdale. Yes, well, this doesn't concern us. Dear, dear. Whilst we've got nothing to do, we'll just rifle through these messages. Somebody's been back. Oh, so you've been imprisoned, then released, and then banished. Okay. Don't know what you did, buddy. So he's a commander. Commander by King Aethelstan. Oh, very good. What is this? And a commander as well. Hang fire, people. We are rising in the ranks. So not only are we the Chancellor, but he wants us to be a commander as well. Well, this is very much welcome. So, Chancellor and Commander of York. It's going to increase your prestige. Now 3.3 per month. That's pretty nice. As we try to power our way towards a positive number so we can revoke the title of the Copsage. Right, let's carry on. And Yordale, so he's the regent. And the steward. Okay. So what we could do before we read that is we could actually take a look at the Liege's Council. So who are we on the council with? We're on the council with the we're on the council with the Yordale guy. We're on the council with the Mayor of Scarborough, which is I'm assuming a vassal of the Duke, and Baron of Richmond, again vassal. Bishop of St. Peter's, again vassal. I'm thinking, yeah, St. Peter's, yeah. So he's got he's got three of his vassals, me and Mr. Yordale, Burtnoth. So that's the council members. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to just have a look at these council members in a bit more detail, just to see who we're on the council with. Maybe there might be somebody that we want to befriend, or somebody that's not quite as they should be. We'll have a look. There are a few monasteries close by where the lay members of the Dominican order frequently convene. As such, it is expected that I every so often attend these meetings, and that I spend a fair amount of time at these monasteries to get in touch with the monastic foundations of the order. Such a period is about to start, so we're off to learn a bit more about the order. Okay. So we're abroad. We're off and off and running. God's blessing upon thee, Donatus Johann. The hectic life of a ruler rarely allows for sufficient time for contemplation. I ask you to seclude yourself and think about your life and your actions, a sort of penance for your sins. Well, we haven't sinned. We're a sinless guy. We're like the most holy of holies here. But if they are asking that we do it, then we should do it. Because nobody is perfect. And after a bit of contemplation, perhaps we will reflect on things that we may have done that we shouldn't have done. Maybe the whole situation with Copsage, maybe we've been too harsh. Shall we contemplate that? Let's go and lock ourselves in a dark room. So speaking of history and how I've read up on history, I've also read up a little bit on Catholicism. You can't just read up on Catholicism very quickly, but in terms of some of the things that I've encountered so far. So for instance, I wasn't sure whether Catholics could drink alcohol. I mentioned in the last session and kind of stopped myself that we were drinking with Cenfus. Catholics can drink alcohol. It's not welcomed, but Jesus, water into wine, and it's put on here for the merriment of others. I think I read in something on the internet, and therefore it is to be enjoyed in moderation, like anything in life, food, whatever. It's to be enjoyed in moderation. So having a couple of goblets of wine with Cenfus in the study is perfectly okay. Right, I have now been at the monastery for a few days, surrounded by others who share my passion for God, and yet I still find I miss having a friend. What it means to say is, he's at this monastery, he's been here for a few days now, and he's missing Cenfus. Donatus Mangold and myself seem to be getting along quite well, though. Perhaps this could blossom into a true friendship if we did something together. So who is this man? Oh, we've both got a high opinion of each other. Who is he? He's the Count of Schweiz. Somewhere. Okay. Obviously, this is the order's get-up. It's like an official sign of the order. You've got to have a ridiculous hairstyle. So yeah, okay. We seem to get on well. He's zealous, deceitful, wrathful, and proud, though. But nobody's perfect. Play a game of military strategy. Discuss the Bible. Intricacies of managing a realm. Taking a stroll and simply enjoying some small talk. Well, seeing as we're a scholarly theologian, common ground and all that, let's discuss the Bible. We're both zealous. That's what we're here for, right? Not for military games. In the meantime, the realm has been administered by Cenfus, in our absence, of course. Who is that? Steinberg Bernald's daughter. She's the... Who is she? Who are you? Daughter? Oh, so our Yordale neighbour here, Bertnoth, his daughter has died of pneumonia. Oh, that's rather unfortunate, but why is it coming up in my main message? Your acquaintance. Acquaintance? How are we acquainted, other than being neighbours? I ask you. But I am very sad to hear that, of course. I mean, Mr. Yordale. We send our condolences. Right, though we had a good time, it doesn't seem that Donatus Mangold was too enamoured with the activity I suggested. It's doubtful the seeds of our friendship will grow any further after all. That's a shame, but never mind. We're still, I mean, 55 and 55, it's not bad. But he's no Cenfus, you see. Cenfus would have loved to discuss the Bible. Ended his plot. Right, so like marriage messages, I'm gonna tailor this and take off some of these messages. Like marriage messages and council member messages, I'll probably remove them for the next episode. Right, okay, so we're getting close to the end of the year, so I think we'll end it after 1 year here. It's been a few things to discuss and sort out before we got the ball rolling, really. But in the next session, there should be less of that and more action. So we might get a 2-year session next. You'll be pleased to know as we stroll on by at 2 speed. Giving us time to have a look at some of the other dukes in the land, I suppose. So we've seen this man, Cynic. We've seen this man, Cynic. What about some of the other dukes? So we've got the Duke of Kent, right? Yeah. I think he owns Kent, which is a small duchy down there, you see. And he's Aethelwald. He's of Mercia, so he's not related to the king. He's diligent, gregarious, chaste, and stubborn. Okay, that's quite nice. We like that. And Duchess Bjortigifu. Oh my god, people are dropping dead left, right and centre here. She's gluttonous and proud, but gregarious and honest though. So okay, that's not bad. Yes, we like that. We like that very much. Right, who's dead now? Who are you? Oh, well, Athelstan East Anglia. Mr. Man here has just lost his wife, who's died of severe stress. Well, we are not one to wish people dead, of course, but it begs the question why a cynical man has lost his wife at a young age. I'll leave it at that, right? Is she young? Yeah, 17. What? You're 52. Okay. Cornwall, moving swiftly on. Duke Conan. What a strong name. Conan II. Gregarious, trusting, cruel, chaste, and patient. 37. He's got one child. What his wife? Cruel people together, but okay, yeah. He's a scholarly theologian as well. I mean, again, it's a pity these people could not be a little bit closer to us. We have scuppered with two old biddies that are disbelievers. They like to marry very, very young people when they're in their 50s. Senfus is already very fond of me. Perhaps I should focus my time and resources to sway somebody else. Yes. Perhaps we what's it going like? 71 and 26. Okay, do you know what? Yeah. Well, in fact, we must be able to stop it manually, so until we find another candidate, we'll keep swaying him. Maybe we should sway our liege, actually. What's our opinion of him? 15. Okay. Between now and the next session, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a much more in-depth look at the council that we're in. The Council of York now, to see if there's anybody on there that we might want to sway. So it's either going to be the liege or maybe one of the new council members that we're on. Perhaps, we'll see. That'll be something for us to take a look at. Holy cow! Oh my god! Murdered on the orders of King Athelstan of England! Holy cow! His wife died and then he's just been murdered! Oops, I've pressed the wrong button. There we go. Well, there you go, folks. There you go. Now, I'm a believer here that this was an act of God. This was an act of God because that man married a young woman far too... I mean, obviously in these times it probably wasn't unusual, to be fair, but just to me now it just doesn't seem right that a 52-year-old's married to a 17-year-old. But yeah, so that and the fact that he was a disbeliever. He was a cynical man. And the king... We're thinking now, perhaps the king saw as we saw. And struck him down, had him struck down, which is not the Catholic thing to do, because we should practice forgiveness and we should move on from when Jesus visited the Samaritan village with his apostles and they wanted God to smite down the village because they turned Jesus away from the gates. He was the one that told them to practice forgiveness, not revenge. I read that today, you see. I'm learning. And so we would not want the king to strike the man down for no reason, or even for the reason. But hey-ho, he's a king, he can do what he wants, and we can't say that we're too unhappy for a cynical duke to be rid. Or to be gotten rid of, rather. So, that's brought a little smirk to my face. I'm not Catholic, I'm not Johann, I'm the player, and it makes me happy, okay? And Johann is probably not aware of this just yet because he's in the middle of a monastery somewhere looking like a tool. Right, that will end the session there then. Excuse me, coughing away. I've enjoyed this session and things have taken a little bit of shape. We have a new liege lord. And one of our pesky dukes, cynical dukes, has been murdered by the king. If I was you, my friend, I'd watch myself. You're not married to a 17-year-old, are you? Oh my god! Okay, we'll see what happens in the next session then. Until then, see you soon.